Hello, everyone. I'm Larry Ridley. Welcome to the NFL on EA Sports. The Vikings have every intention of walking out of today's game with win number 4 on the season. It's the Lions going up against the Vikings. With that, let's welcome in our fine broadcast team. Here are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Larry, it's one of the new jewels of the NFL, no doubt, as you get a look inside U.S. Bank Stadium here in Minneapolis. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Detroit Lions and the Minnesota Vikings. Hi again, everyone. Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. And Charles, you look at this Vikings ball club. They were winners last time out, so they'll be looking, Charles, to make it 2 in a row.
And what I enjoyed when I watched their game tape and their victory last week is they put it together in every phase. Good offense, good defense, and some key plays on special teams. Let's see if they can get that second win in a row.
Meanwhile, for the Lions here, they come into this one knowing it's been a while since tasting victory. They've dropped 4 in a row.
Can they remember what it was like to win a game? In these types of situations, you're looking for someone to inspire you, and it doesn't have to be one of your best players either.
Set to go now in Week 6 of the NFL season, and we are underway on EA Sports. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And from back there, a wise move. He'll just sit on this one, and it'll come out to the 25. So here are the Lions now coming out for their opening drive. They'll be led out by a former Pro Bowl quarterback out of the University of Georgia, Matthew Stafford.
Would you say that last week's performance by him, workmanlike in terms of numbers?
1 touchdown, 1 pick, but obviously a loss.
Yeah, and that's the bottom line for him. All he cares about is how do we find a way to win the game. Maybe leans on a few other parts of the offense, and hopefully springs a receiver or 2 free.
Now a first carry for LeGarrette Blount. And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down. So the Lions go backwards there, and unfortunately that's something they saw a lot in 2015. They had the fewest rushing yards of any team in the NFL.
It's one of those dubious titles that no one really wants to claim. Even teams who say, well, I'll worry about running it because we throw it all the time. Being able to run it when you want to is a key to success in the NFL, and Detroit struggled doing that. And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice game.
Now a carry for Blount, pushing forward for 3 up to the 48. And after the play on the ground, that brings up 2nd down here. They'll run again with Blount. And this time the yards won't come so easy, as they'll in fact tackle him behind the line. That'll set him back with a loss of 3 on the play. And they're going to face a 3rd down. So add that tackle for a loss to the 2 that he had a week ago.
And you know what he's doing right now?
Smiling?
Yeah, definitely doing that. But he's also patting his guys on the back, his defensive front, because they're keeping him clean, meaning no one's getting to him as a blocker. He's able to run to the football, and the plays he's making, he's spilling them in the offensive backfield.
He punted 3 times in the loss last week as he sends this one away. And a bit of a mistake there. This is well into the end zone for a touchback. So here's the Viking offense making their way out. They'll be led out by the veteran quarterback out of Michigan State. The former Spartan, it's Kirk Cousins.
Forget the measurables. His temperament, which is so even-keeled, often mask a burning desire to win and perform. This guy takes it seriously when he lines up to play, and usually he puts on a nice performance.
They'll run for the first time with Devontae Freeman. And he'll get only a couple up to the 22. Cousins now on second down. And that'll be incomplete. We do have a penalty flag down, however. Let's see what that's about.
Pass interference, defense.
So the contact came before the ball got there, and the flag is thrown.
Timing is everything, isn't it? And it's so hard to cover these great receivers. They have such great body control, and they can fake you out. In this case, as you described, got there before the ball got to the receiver. Penalty flag had to come out.
Oh, good move. And he'll get this up to about the 40. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5. Second down following the run. To throw, Cousins. He completes it to Julio Jones. And he's taken down, but not before he gets this into enemy territory across the 40. And a nice gain of 21 yards. Well, a big play like that looks familiar, doesn't it? Like we saw it a week ago, reigning NFC Offensive Player of the Week.
Nothing wrong with being explosive. Nothing wrong with being electric. Nothing wrong with carrying it over from the previous week off to a really, really hot start.
Trying to bounce it outside, but he's only able to get it back to the line of scrimmage. He couldn't get the edge there. It wasn't sealed, so maybe not all on the guy running the football all the time on those tosses and the pitches that go to the outside.
No, not at all. I would agree with that totally, because sometimes the defensive guys, they win the edge battle. And when they do that, there's no place for the running back to go, and especially for offensive linemen trying to get out ahead. With their footwork and speed, it was negligible on that play. No gain at all for the offense. I don't think either one of us is surprised about who they just targeted on that one. I mean, they're going to try and get to him as much as possible. Off to a nice start, but unable.
Looking for Jones, and it's intercepted. Picked off at about the 31. And this one will be returned to right around the 38-yard line. They told us repeatedly earlier in the week in our meetings, we need some plays from our defense here on the road early. They got one.
And don't think they were above all week long pointing out to their defense that the other defense is rated
into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Levante David. And his guys are going to get the football at the 37-yard line.
Oh, time. Is everything on a route like this. He tried to drive that football into a tight spot. And if you're a little early or a little late, chances are there's going to be someone there. And sure enough, this one's going the other way.
This is Freeman on 1st and 10. And he'll be knocked down sideways, right at the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
Okay, let's just make this one simple. We know that the running game is not their thing, but they can't just throw it on every single down without expecting some real heat from the pass rush.
2nd down, Cousins. That's caught by his tight end, Evan Ingram. And he's going to get this down near the 20-yard line. 17 yards on the pickup there. The drive will continue. It's a 1st down.
And after that completion, you can understand why so many teams in the league are emphasizing speed on defense at every position. The tight ends have created so many tough matchups now. If you can't run with a tight end as a linebacker, this is going to be the result every time.
It's a loss of 4 there, bringing up 2nd down.
I think there's one element that just keeps increasing on defense in the NFL, and that's speed. They want it at every position, and we just saw there some linebackers who can go sideline to sideline, run past that trash, go past people, and make tackles near the sidelines.
And not only near the sideline, but also in the backfield there for the loss. The numbers for Jones last week, he took out some anger, some apparent anger against that defense. The yards just kept going up and up and up.
Yeah, he was just running up and down the field doing whatever he wanted. By the end of the game, he was seeing 2, sometimes 3 defenders on every side.
They'll run here with Freeman. And he'll take this from the 9 down to about the 7. Defensively, pretty good start there with their backs against the wall.
That's a win for the stop troops right there. And if I'm them, I get a little bolder now. They won the first battle. Keep coming after them. Put the pressure on them.
Now a second down throw for Cousins. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Tavon Wilson. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
So that's back-to-back drives where they've thrown an interception. Ordinarily, we look at the offense and say, what's going on with your scheme? Maybe we should look at the defense and just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got them frustrated right now.
Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete.
This team is not going to make it easy for you. They're a physical group, and we just saw it there on that play. It came in, made the contact, just as he's trying to haul it in.
Back to the air. Stafford on second down. And he's going to be taken down. Sacked back at the 2. Miles Jack. He's the one to get him, and that's sack number 7 for him on the year.
Well, if an offense is going to throw the ball on this part of the field, any pass rusher will tell you that's his favorite part. Gets a chance to get after the quarterback. It's almost like a reverse red zone. They can create points using their defense, and this time they take their man down.
Just a 1-yard gain on the play, and that'll mean a call to the punt team as it's 4th down.
Well, they got off the field on 3rd down. An excellent job, an excellent defensive series. We always talk about adjustments, and usually only at halftime. But the best teams adjust series to series. And on that series, they adjusted so well that they got the job done in fine style.
Well, he wasn't too far from breaking that. Officially given 15. And the Vikings now heading onto the field. And it's been a miserable start for them offensively. Obviously, 2 drives, 2 interceptions.
And this is where you have to know your quarterback and know how you actually have to reach him. Do you do it with a little bit of humor? Maybe you break the ice a little bit like, hey, didn't we practice in that color jersey all week? Not the one that you're throwing it to? Or maybe you have to be stern with him. But whatever it's going to take to get the message, it has to be done. He's putting the game in jeopardy.
Here's Cousins. Steps away to his left. And he slides to avoid the hit. It'll be a gain of 9. And just like that, it's 3rd down.
Partner, he was going through his progressions. Not there, not there. After about the 3rd one, he decided he better pull it down and run for it. And he slides down and avoids the hit for good measure.
And he's able to find Diggs. And he's got the first as they'll bring him down at the 28-yard line. They give him 17 yards that time as that'll move the chains. Those are the kinds of plays right there that show you why he's the number 3 man in the NFL in terms of receiving yards.
Also tells you there's a full combination of what he's got going in his game. You name it, from route running to catching the football. That's why he's able to produce those types of numbers.
No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down. Tried to get the edge there. The defense just too quick to the ball.
That's what we call total team defense there. Can't get to the edge, no place to move it inside, and then allows everyone else to run to the ball and create a big-time tackle for no gain for the offense.
And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. 19 yards on the pickup there, and now they'll have it 1st and goal. And now the passing game here in the 2nd quarter starting to heat up a little bit.
Don't you feel the rhythm starting to happen, right? You see it now. The confidence is starting to rise. I think now as a play caller, because that has happened, you lean on it a little bit more. You don't go totally away from running the football, but you do say, guess what? We can throw it. We can throw it well with a whole lot of confidence. Brad, wasn't that long ago that the guy playing that spot was an outside linebacker type of a guy. Now, as a defensive end, how about the speed that he used to get into the backfield and make the play?
2 minutes remain in a scoreless first half. More from Minneapolis after this. A reminder, coming up at halftime, we'll check in with Larry Ridley for highlights and analysis of our first half of play. Not too many highlights yet, at least in terms of scoring plays, that is.
Yeah, but hang in there. We might get something these last 2 minutes.
A nice job of eluding the pressure there, scrambling for 11.
Partner was a definite passing down, but he was able to leak out and pick up some good yardage, even though the coverage was excellent. Maybe it's not exactly how they drew it up, but he still got a big chunk of yardage on second down.
3rd and goal for Cousins. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
I tell you, Brandon, this defense is playing with some confidence. Haven't allowed a point yet. Flying to the football. I'm telling you, it's almost 11 to the ball on every snap. Another nice job there to force an incompletion.
And his kick is indeed good. And the Vikings have a 3-0 lead. And we were scoreless up until this point in the second quarter. Now we finally have a little action.
Let's see where this action takes us. First quarter, no points at all. Now we've got our first score of the game. Well, does that signal that we're going to get more as we go along, or will it revert back to what we saw in the beginning of the game?
So the Lions offense ready to go back out onto the field. And still no points on the scoreboard. You're coming off of the 3 and out. They're just looking for anything to grab onto right now, aren't they?
I'm wondering if someone's going to take charge.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Deion Jones in there to get him, and that's sack number 6 for him on the year.
Well, that play was the very definition of fast, quick, and in a hurry. Suddenly, he was there.
In a blink of an eye, that happened fast and a big sack. And he's just going to get rid of this thing. To no one here, he throws it away, and now it's 3rd.
The one thing that I've liked defensively is that they've shown him a lot of different looks here in the first half. They've come after him. They've sat back. I think that's what you need to do to keep an offense guessing.
And they certainly have kept them on their toes. That's why they haven't had much success on the scoreboard. They run with a duel. And not a whole lot to speak of there as they'll bring him down shy of the 20. And now the Vikings are going to stop it here on defense with a timeout. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. This is taken at the 23. A good return there, 17 yards. And the Vikings will take over here, 1st and 10. And back onto the field now comes Devontae Freeman. He's hoping to get it going. They're hoping to get him going, too. You know, he's about ready to pop one here in the second quarter. He's hoping.
And his offensive line teammates, they want to get one of those, too, because...
But he's going to be wrapped up and driven down. Sean Robinson breaking through to get him for a loss of 7. Great job defensively. I think he was trying to go through his progressions, find someone to get rid of the football. Before he knew it, he was on his back.
So that just brings us right back to what you said in the beginning. A great job defensively. Nowhere to go with the football. That led to the sack.
He almost had it. The big D lineman nearly had an interception. Instead, it falls down incomplete.
I know that interception was dropped, and it would have been their 3rd of the game, and I will guarantee you, in the huddle, on the bench, all the defensive guys have been talking about is, we've got this guy right where we want him. Who's going to get the next one? It almost becomes a challenge, and they've missed a golden opportunity.
And he's finally taken down, but not before getting across midfield and across the 45-yard line. Now the Vikings will use the second of their timeouts, as they'll stop it with 25 seconds to go here in half number 1. Cousins now. He's got the connection over the middle to Diggs. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. Another big gainer that time. This one goes for 19 yards. Throwing is Cousins. Dancing to his left. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. And they'll burn the timeout with 5 seconds left. A chance to try to add 3 points before heading to the locker room. So even though it's first down, here's the field goal unit on now to try to get 3 before halftime. And his kick here is good. And that will double their lead as it's up to 6. So that's their third trip to the red zone, but all they have to show so far is 2 field goals.
Tough sledding in this game for the offense. They get to the red zone. Normally you count on a minimum of 3 points in each red zone trip. Not so far in this game.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee and they'll bring the football out to the 25. And the D-line pinching together must be expecting the run. And with time running short here, they'll simply take a knee, and that should do it for half number 1. So a couple of field goals, that's all we've been able to muster through 2 quarters of play. 6-0 is our count at the break. As we send you down to our EA Sports Studios in Orlando, where we find our man Larry Ridley with our halftime report.
All right, let's get it going. Here's the first half highlights. Vikings have it on 2nd and 5 from Alabama. Julio Jones making a catch coming across the middle, and he ends up at the 39-yard line before he stopped on the play. Pick. Offense comes out now. Cousins throw under pressure leads to the turnover. Wilson's is the one who makes the pick, halting the offense's drive. Vikings, now they have it at the 45. Cousins gonna find his mark, and he won't be brought down until he makes it to the 28-yard line. However, they only come away with a field goal on the drive. Late in the second, the pass will be completed into coverage, and he won't be brought down until he makes it to the 43-yard line. They would go on to kick a field goal and put 3 points on the board. And with that, we'll send you back to Minneapolis, where Brandon and Charles are on the call.
Okay, Larry, thank you. No touchdowns in our first half. What will we see in half number 2? Time to find out. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line. Now come the Vikings. They'll have it first on offense as we begin the third. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking for some separation here as we begin the third quarter.
I like the way you term that because now I think they go a little bit deeper into their playbook. They like what they did in the first half. That worked okay. But in order to get the separation that you just talked about, change things up a little bit. Change your tendencies. Try and hit them a little bit more with some things they didn't see in the first half.
We'll see if they do just that. Freeman again, a first down carry. And a big hit at the end of that one. He's knocked down hard, right near the 39. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the third quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. 15 yards through the air and a first down. They toss to Freeman. A big hit. Knocked down sideways at the 44-yard line. Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8.
Well, they're hoping that the second half is better for him than the first half. They've got to find a way to get him going. He's a big part of their offense.
Now Cousins. It's complete to Diggs. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. And a nice gain of 21 yards. Fresh set of downs here. Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively. They run it for the first time with a backup Murray. And he'll be taken down near the 20 at the 21. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
Nice job by that defensive front there to hold him to a short gain on first down. Well played, I must say.
Yeah, only getting 1 yard. There was no room to run. Cousins to throw it. Under pressure, and he'll go down. Back at the 26-yard line. And now following that sack, looks like we've got an injured man down there on the field. While the trainers take a look, we'll step aside. The Vikings on 3rd down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This is going to be 3rd and 13. Now it's the backup Simeon. Buying time to his left. Now Simeon stripped. He lost the football.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
So 3 field goals for him here, and this last one helps him stretch out the lead.
And he's been solid as usual. And this is what you need to do. Make sure you get points out of every possession. And so far, they've done a nice job of that.
This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And from back there, a wise move. He'll just sit on this one, and it'll come out to the 25. So we get a look at the Lions offense as they get ready for their first possession of the second half. They trail offense, first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to see what they have planned, because some teams script to start a half. Other teams just go, okay, these are the sequence of plays we want to run. These things worked well for us. And sometimes they throw in that big chunk play right away.
Shocker.
Try and get after them early and try and create a big play to give themselves some momentum.
See what they have up their sleeve. Again, here's Blunt. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. It's a loss of 2, now third down.
Brandon, that play typifies what we've seen from the offense all day long. They've had no success getting things going. I think for the offensive coordinator, he's got to go to that side of the play sheet.
The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack. Sheldon Richardson in there to drop him for a 6-yard loss, and that'll lead to a 4th down. Well, they go play fake. The problem is nobody was faked out.
And when no one's faked out, what's the end result? Quarterback gets hit.
He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. That's taken on the 25. It'll be a 51-yard punt that time. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. And now out comes Minnesota. And they're not going to play this conservative, I don't think. They had the field goal last time, and they're up, but they're looking to put a drive in the end zone.
Oh, I agree with you totally. No one goes out on the field and says, all right, let's just settle for 3, except in certain situations.
Devontae Freeman, they're not going to get him. The 20, 10, 5, touchdown, Vikings. Devontae Freeman, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Vikings find a way to stretch their lead. And on that long run, maybe the defense caught napping a little bit.
The concentration level may not have been there. I agree with you on that one, because those types of plays, when they result like that, they're almost like big bolts of lightning, aren't they? Whoosh, and off he goes.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And they'll put up the stop sign there as his guys will get it at the 25. And Detroit getting set to go now. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting. I'd say they've got to find a way to get him going. He's such a big part of their offense. I wonder if they might throw it a little and come back to the run.
Anything, because you're right. He's pretty much been completely neutralized. That'll be taken in there by Kenny Galladay. 9 yards on the pickup there, and it keeps the drive alive.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be.
Back now at beautiful new U.S. Bank Stadium. It's the Lions trailing, but with possession of the football as we get set to bring you the fourth quarter. Now a first down throw. Stafford. And Jones has it over the middle. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. 11 yards for number 11. Hard to believe his first catch of the game defensively. They bottled him up. That's why they're well on their way to victory.
Put your best cover guy on him and then change the coverages behind him throughout the game. Brackets, double, zone, man, you name it. Make sure he gets a lot of angles.
And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up second down.
That's very well timed there defensively because it's not a bad throw, but the collision came at the exact time he was reaching to bring in the football. Really, really well done.
Decent offense, just better defense. I think you're right. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
That would have been a great catch, but it's real difficult to hold on to it because it was contested all the way. Would have been a great play if he'd been able to haul that one in.
On third down, Abdullah. And this time he's going backwards. So after the no gain on the last attempt, here they get him behind the line.
And that's another stop for the defense. Something we've seen all game long. They have been on fire today. No matter what's called by the offense, they've had an answer for it.
Desperation time for Stafford on fourth down. And they will not be able to hook up there. It's incomplete. The Lions turned away on fourth down. And the Vikings, they have the football now in excellent field position. So they really needed points here in a two-score game. Could not come away with anything there on fourth.
And while we know they're a little bit discouraged here, they can't check out of this game. You and I have called a good number of games over the course of our career where we've seen these types of situations. Teams get the ball back, and that miracle does occur. So they can't let that dream go just yet. They have to get stout on defense here.
Yeah, right now really hoping for a turnover. Freeman again. And he'll be brought down, losing yardage back at the 40. He lost 2 there, and it's third down.
Brandon, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the fourth quarter. They're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there. Now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take to slow them down.
Here's Simeon. And Diggs has it. And he will have the first before he's brought down right on the chalk of the 20. And the play goes for 19 yards. Gives him a new set of downs. He's been the go-to guy. They needed a big play there on third down. Went his way. It worked out.
Doesn't matter whether they've scouted it or that they think he's going to get the ball. He has a knack for finding his way open and completing the connection.
And after the good gain last play, this time they say, as he's going to be stopped behind the line of scrimmage. The fourth quarter here, they've got the lead. They want to keep it on the ground. That's what they're doing.
Smart football. Keep the clock grinding. Keep it going. But you got to figure now, they're going to see more people stacked up at the line of scrimmage as they try and bleed it out.
It's a loss of 2. Now third down.
Well, partner, I guess sometimes it's just a matter of philosophy. Some say run it until they absolutely stop you, and others say, well, when you think they're about to stop you, fool them a little bit. I guess they should have tried to fool them on that play.
Simeon. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up fourth down.
My high school coach, John Ford, used to say all the time, if you're in a bad situation, laddie, don't compound it with a bad decision as well. And I think that's what we just saw there. Harassed in the pocket, and he throws into double coverage anyway.
He called you laddie?
He called me laddie, and that was the nicest thing he called me.
And you figure with that, this game's pretty well out of reach.
It would take a heck of a comeback at this point. Being 3 scores down, I think that's too much to ask with time winding down here in the fourth.
So here come the Lions now. And on that last drive, went for it on fourth, turned it over. A good job by their defense, though. They held them to 3, but this offense, they've got to be a little bit better, a little bit more careful here.
And sometimes when you see these calls on fourth down, when they decide to go for it, it's not necessarily the coach saying, I believe in my offense. Sometimes the coach saying, I believe in my defense. I can afford to go for it here because if we don't get it, I don't think we'll give up more than 3, and that's exactly what happened there.
You think that factored in?
I do. I think that he had that in his mind going into the game, that I'm going to be aggressive on offense because I know I've got a defense that can hold up their end.
Over the middle, complete to Tate. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. That one goes for 13 yards, and it moves the sticks. Time for a break. We'll come back and see this one out after this. So the Lions in possession of the football as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. On first down, it's Stafford. Pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down. Daniil Hunter coming hard that time. He's able to run him down for a loss of 12. Here's Stafford now on second down. And the pressure gets to him again. And now maybe they want some extra time to talk about this third and long play as we'll get a timeout. As they'll talk it over here before what will be an important third down. Third and long, it's Stafford. He's going to let it fly. And incomplete. He can't hang on. Would have been a nice catch. Instead, it brings up a fourth down. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden the secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
To throw is Stafford. Caught on the right side by Jones. And he's not able to get away. He is stopped well short of a first down. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And the Vikings, they have the football now in excellent field position. So they tried to go for it for pride, but it really wouldn't have mattered. This one, it was already determined.
No doubt about it. This one was over a while ago.
Now Freeman, he's been busy today. Past the 20. And he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. Devontae Freeman with his second touchdown of the game and 5th on the year. And the Vikings are going to add on to their lead. And they open the lead up now to 25 points. And he certainly played a pivotal role with those 2 TDs and why they're up on the scoreboard right now.
Well, someone's all about winning, aren't they? Because he's not worried about the number. Sure, it's great to have 2 touchdowns. But the bottom line is what he's doing is contributing to their lead. He wants to continue to do so.
The Lions offense, they get ready to head back onto the field. They're down big here late. I don't know. You just one last drive here for pride?
Some people like to do that. I remember playing for a guy once we were down huge, and someone said, "Coach, what do you want to call?" He just waved a hand like, who cares? Let's get out of here and do something some other time. But some teams like to do something at the end to feel a little bit better as they continue to move forward.
Yeah, probably just want to put this one behind them. Second and 10, Stafford again. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And before they can run this third down play, we're going to get a timeout. As they'll talk it over here before what will be an important third down. The Lions on third down. It's been a problem. Just 1 for 7 thus far. This will be 3rd and 6. A shotgun snap for Stafford. They're able to locate Wilson. And he is out of bounds on the other side of midfield. The 21 yards there as they convert on 3rd.
Nice game there, partner, but you and I both know that won't do anything for the final score. They're not going to win this one. Right now they're playing for pride and fantasy points.
And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Deion Jones in there to get him, and that's sack number 8 for him on the year. To throw on second down is Stafford. And it's caught over the middle. Wilson. A really nice Nice gain of 25 yards. Now you've got to hustle your guys to the line and get them set. And he'll indeed get him to the line and spike it here to stop the clock. And here comes play number 6 on this drive. On second down, here's Stafford. And in. Complete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up third down.
You get a tight end like this, and you know he's used to dishing out punishment, but here, he's one that has to absorb the contact. And as a result, unable to hold on to the football.
Throwing on third down, Stafford. And that's incomplete.
I know our vantage point might be a little bit better way up here, but that looked like an ill-advised throw to me. I didn't see anything open, and this play just didn't look right from the beginning.
It did not. I thought he might get outside and just chuck it away. Dangerous pass, incomplete. And this one looks good. It is good. Right down the pipe. And the drive will wind up yielding 3. Well, it's a Pyrrhic victory at best, but, Charles, no team wants to get shut out, so it's hard to blame them for taking the 3 there.
You can't blame them one bit. It hasn't been the best performance, that's for darn sure. But there is something to be said for fighting to avoid the goose egg, and they're at least trying to finish out strong.
Prater now will send it away following the made field goal. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. And now out comes Minnesota. They have the dream scenario you hope for coming into the game. Just one kneel here, and this game should be over.
And it's always the final play of preparation each week. The practicing of the kneel-down formation, the victory formation. We've got a game in hand, and that's all they're going to want to do now. They'll put someone back deep just in case something goes haywire. But all in all, take the snap, kneel down, and shake hands. Yes, get out of there.
Now it looks like he'll throw here. Going deep for Diggs. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out, incomplete. Unable to connect on the first down pass play. Now it's second down. Now Simeon. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. And now before this first down play, we're going to get a timeout here. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. Back to throw, Simeon. That'll be incomplete with 9 seconds now showing on the clock. Nelson Aguilar, the intended receiver. That'll bring up second down. Fourth quarter, you've got the big lead. If you're coaching, Charles, you still taking shots like that downfield?
I'd be a little more concerned with running some clock and making sure you're taking care of the lead, because you keep flinging it around, you throw a couple of picks, you can put yourself in jeopardy.
No, he almost had it. Already with 1 interception, just missing his second there. Throwing on third down, Simeon. Pressure, and he's going to be taken down. They sack him back right around the 44. And, Charles, I think when the schedule comes out, all teams, no matter where they're predicted to finish, talk about protecting your home turf. They were able to do that here in this one.
Similar to a tennis match, right? Not letting them break your serve. That way you hold on to it. They got it done, and they feel very good.
Now let's take a minute to see how you can improve your team. Before we go any further, make sure to install your game plan for your upcoming matchup. Hello, everybody. I'm Larry Ridley. You're tuned into the NFL on EA Sports. Today, we've got an exciting matchup on tap. It's the Vikings coming in at 4-1, going up against the Buccaneers, who come in at 1-5. For the call, let's send you out to the broadcast booth, where we'll join our commentators, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
EA Sports coverage takes us to one of the newest jewels on the NFL landscape, US Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Minnesota Vikings. Hi again, everyone. Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. And Charles, you look at this Vikings ball club. They come in feeling good after back-to-back victories.
And this coaching staff has to be pleased with how their defense played last week. They held their opponents to 3 points, and that was it. Thinking anything comparable to that performance? This one's in the bag.
On the other side of the field for the visiting Bucs, we're in October now, so everybody should be coming into form, shouldn't they?
They really should, and what you have now is a full routine established about what you want to get done and full focus on the season.
Play fake here on first down. Rush coming, and he's taken down. Deion Jones in there to sack him, and that is 10 for him now on the year. Well, these sacks are really piling up. Last week, it was a half-dozen sacks, and here's one on the opening drive.
And it has the potential to be what we call a gap, a game-altering play. Because, let's face it, you just mentioned 6 sacks last week. Now, if you're an offense and you saw that on tape, you got to think to yourself, maybe I bring people in, keep them in, and try and protect my quarterback. It didn't work on that play.
Third and long for Winston. He's got Evans. And he's taken down at the 43, but not before picking it. Up the first. So we're going to have a challenge. Remember, last year the tablet was introduced. Most people seem to be happy with how that went, so it's back for 2018.
Yeah, and I thought it helped speed up the process a little bit, to be honest with you. I thought it was terrific that they were able to get that done. Anything you can do to take some of the lulls out of the game and keep it moving, both for the players and, of course, for fan interest, I'm in favor of it.
And for us, too.
No doubt.
First down and 10 now for the offensive group. From the gun, Winston. It's brought in by Adam Humphries. More on that one, and another first down.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start, getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance. I do believe we'll see a little bit more of this as this game progresses, because when you can have that type of a game in the middle of the defense, it hurts them in so many ways, because most teams like to be strong down the middle. And if you can sting them there, that opens things up for you on the outside as well.
That's where their big tight end, is so good, that middle third, the seam routes, the in routes. Yeah, you're right. Probably see more of that.
Yeah, it takes a lot of courage and fortitude to go in the middle as well, and he's got it.
Jameis to throw it. That's caught by the big tight end, O.J. Howard. And they do stop him, but he takes it all the way to the 2. He got 29 yards that time.
Okay, I'm not so great at math, but I just looked over at our statistician, Marvin, and he signaled to me 5 for 5 to get things started here on this opening drive. Where I come from, that's pretty good.
That is pretty good. Now, what do you do defensively to adjust?
Well, this is where you got to make a decision as a defensive coordinator. Do you really get after the quarterback, or maybe you tighten down on the receivers, bump them off of their routes, chip away at their timing, so things aren't as precise as they've been so far in this game.
Second down, the ball on the 2 here. And he'll take it into the end zone. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. A great play there. His 6th touchdown of the season. And the Bucs take the ball down the field and score on their opening drive.
The losing streak had taken on a life of its own, and I think it infiltrates a team when you're on that much of a slide. But this group has managed to focus, come out early, and put a touchdown on the board. They look like they mean business in this one.
They do. Now the key, holding on to that attitude, because, man, that streak has been a struggle for them. And they'll be backed up a bit to start as he's out of bounds at the 16. The first carry for the tailback, Devontae Freeman. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. 17 yards on the pickup there, and the drive will continue. He was solid last week, over 100 yards in their victory on the ground. They want to get that going again.
Absolutely. What they also understand is that from week to week, it's not necessarily the same, but they want it to be, right? What they saw last week on the ground, they want to see in this game as well.
A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down.
While we know that the identity of this offense is to throw the ball, they've got to run it every so often, if for no other reason than to tamp down the pass rush. They can't let them just tee off and get to their quarterback.
Throwing is Cousins, forced out to his left. And he goes out of bounds across the 40-yard line. A nice job of eluding the pressure there, scrambling for 11.
Partner, as a quarterback, sometimes you just got to know when the clock has gone off in your head, it's time to go. Tuck it and get all you can.
Cousins. And he's able to find Diggs. And he will have a first down here at about the 40. They call it a gain of 19, and it moves the chains. So here we go, 1st and 10 now. Now the pitch to Freeman. Looking for a crease, can't find one. Stopped at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, 2nd down.
Check 26, check 26.
2nd down, Cousins. And down he goes, a Buccaneer sack. You know darn well both of these teams reviewed the film and saw that this defense had 5 sacks last week. They got to keep their QB upright.
And they're going to try their best to do exactly.
Back now with Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. 2nd quarter begins with the Vikings holding the football. They're in the midst of a nice drive, but facing a 3rd and long here. Being chased out left. He's going to run, but he's got a long way to go. Pretty solid gain of 7 yards that time as he scrambled, but now they face a 4th down.
And they had an extra defensive back on the field on that play, and the coverage was excellent. He tried to pull it down and run for it, but they rallied to him and kept him short of a first down.
Cousins. And that is going to be incomplete. And he'll have a tough time living that one down. It's one thing, Charles, to drop a pass. It's quite another to drop it on fourth down.
And so many teams work on that in terms of locking in on those key downs. I've seen, you and I have both been to practices where we've seen, hey, third down situation, big third down alert, lock in here, fourth down play, make sure you're focused just a little bit extra. It didn't pay off in that situation.
Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Well, they didn't get a whole lot out of that one, but I think you got to continue to try and run and try and keep the defense honest.
You mean, or also just sit back, dare you to throw it on every down?
Yeah, you get your quarterback hit a lot that way, too.
Again, it's Cook. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. Give him 10 yards on that one, and that'll earn him a fresh set of downs.
At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of their yardage has come through the air. But in a sense, that just sets things up for big runs like that because the defense might be a little bit off balance. They pick up another first down with that run.
Winston. And he'll go down shy of the 40 at the 41. Give him 9 there on the first down completion.
Seeing that play and understanding just how tough it is to cover tight ends, especially the ones running around the NFL nowadays, makes me glad I didn't make it in that league. I would have had a really difficult time.
But now you get to sit up here with me.
Yeah, and that's fun, isn't it? And what a really nice game right there on first down for them. Brings up a nice 2nd down for them.
Pretty good job defensively. Thought he was going to get it, but they knew where that marker was, and they stopped him just short of it.
What it does is emphasize that strategic football and situational football is not just played on the offensive side, is it? Defense understanding, as you noted, where the first down marker was and making sure they didn't get there.
And they pick up the first down there with a gain of 4.
I know the game's changed. A lot of people would say it's evolved. Look, I'm a little bit Neanderthal, okay? I love this. No exotic formations, no misdirection. Just line up and run the darn ball, pick up the first down. I love it.
Yeah, 3rd and short, that's what you're supposed to do. Like you said, old school, smash mouth football. 9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1.
Getting had a ton of success here so far, but you get the feeling that he might be on the verge of popping one.
Yeah, even on that one, there was a little bit of a hole, but it closed there quickly at the end. On 2nd down, Cook. And he went backwards. He'll be down at the 30. He lost 4 there, and it's 3rd down.
We all have habits. We can be somewhat predictable, and you know me pretty well on 2nd down and short. What I like to see.
Play action.
Yeah, without a doubt. I thought that was a great spot to call it. Instead, it didn't go their way, did it?
No, defense sold out for the run. Worked out well. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
I'm not sure we could spot any tendency here on this 3rd down. They could have run it or passed it. Either one was available. They chose to try and get it through the air, but they were unsuccessful.
And this will split the uprights. It's right down the middle. And the lead moves to 10-zip. So the scoring drive encompasses 9 plays, but the net gain, 3 points.
And you're going to have drives like that in this league. Sometimes you just got to take the 3 and move on. Always better than nothing.
And the decision to come out is going to cost him 5 as he's taken down right at the 20. And now out comes Minnesota. They had a great drive going last time. They were moving the ball, and then all of a sudden it just stalled out. So we'll see what they can do here, Charles.
And it's always easy to second guess when you don't get it on a 4th down try. But they had to like the feeling that they had going on offense. They want to continue to see if they can capture that again on this drive and maybe get in the same position.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, like I said, they were moving the football. It's not like they went 4 and out, so I don't think it's a deal where the offense doesn't have confidence.
No, I agree with you totally on that one. If anything, they may have gained more confidence. Okay, they stopped us once. That's all right. Let's keep moving it. Make them do it again.
When halftime rolls around in just a bit, we'll send you to Orlando. You will hear the dulcet tones of Mr. Larry Ridley with our EA Sports halftime report.
Does dulcet mean good?
Yeah, it's just something the broadcasters say. It's got to be good, right?
It's got to be
you
good.
tell me.
Well, it's got to be good if Larry's doing it.
That goes for a gain of 31.
We saw him hit a big play there on a deep post. And most of the time, the post isn't available because usually you have defenders in the middle of the field. But if you throw enough curls and crossing routes and underneath routes, I know from experience, they get tired of watching those balls get caught. They start to creep up a little bit, and that's when you can hit them big over the top.
Stephon Diggs, his intended receiver. And it's second down.
Tremendous coverage there. Just did not catch the football and complete the interception. But what do they say all the time? If he had really good hands, he'd be playing offense.
And he'll get it inside the 40 to the 39. The improv act there, good for 9, and now they'll be looking at a 3rd and short, 3rd and 1.
Well, he did a nice job keeping his eyes downfield, waiting for someone to get open. But once the pressure forced his eyes down to see the rush, it was time to make a break for it.
Oh, a scrap for the football, and he's going to come down with it. 17 yards on the pickup there, and also a first down. If you're going to blitz, likely going to leave you in man coverage with this guy, and that is less than ideal.
It is, because just about any offense that has an elite receiver, if you blitz and have him in man coverage, you're going to him, even if he has an elite defender on him, because he usually knows where the ball is before the defender does.
Holding offense.
So on the big tight end, holding.
Each and every year, we talk about very few tight ends coming into the league that are polished blockers or asked to do it a lot in college. So it's a constant struggle and a constant fight to learn how to do it without holding.
Here's Cousins. Steps away to his left. And he'll work it inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. He'll get 3 yards on the scramble there at second down.
And we have to give credit to him for buying time and extending the play. But you know, there's some really upset defenders on that one. They thought that they had him. Instead, he was coated in...
And he's going to be taken down back around the 35-yard line.
Well, this is what happens when you get behind the chains, as people like to say. When you have obvious passing situations, hard to vary it up and fool a defense.
And you hate those situations if you're an O-lineman, right?
Oh, without a doubt, because you just know they're coming, and you never know exactly how. They can be exotic in their blitzes, or their athletic ability just takes over.
And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
It's a lot of contact going on there, and in the end, unable to keep 2 hands on the football and bring it into his body.
Everything looked pretty good until the finish.
And this is one of the risks you run when you attempt a long field goal. If you miss, the defense takes over at the spot of the placement. So now they've got a chance to get one more drive in before halftime.
First down, Winston. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up second down. So he can't hang on, and as I watch that unfold, I remembered an expression that I've heard, maybe from you, I don't know, but you're going to get hit anyways, might as well hold on to the ball.
Well, you know a coach said that, right? Yeah. Not an actual player. Not a chance at all. Way easier said than done.
And this will go as a short gain on what will be the final act of this first half. The second half upon us sooner than we bargained for. Week 7, second half. Let's do it. This fielded at the 2. And he will make it back to the 15, and that's it. Good coverage there by the kick team. Out come the Vikings. They'll have it first on offense as we begin the third. They come out here with a 0 on the scoreboard. What was said in that locker room? That's what I want to know.
I would love to have been in there, because we often have the feeling that there's a lot of shouting, screaming, people upset. But typically, halftime locker rooms are a lot more clinical than that. And in this case, are they upset that the plays weren't working because of execution? Or did they think they were just bad plays to call?
Yeah.
We'll find out pretty quickly here if they feel like they had something going, but they just need to do it a little bit better or not.
We'll find out. Cousins now on second down. He completes it to Julio Jones. And he's taken down, but not before he gets this across the 25-yard line. 15 yards through the air and a first down.
He gets his first catch there, but all in all, when you're talking about the #1 receiver in the NFL coming into this game, and we're just talking about the first catch there, I think they're doing a nice job of bottling him up.
Now a toss right, Freeman. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up second down.
I think it's pretty evident. We can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they've stopped him cold. That, to me, that's good scouting and even better execution.
Yeah, and they stopped him behind the line right there. They obviously watched the tape a few times and made some adjustments. A very solid gain of 27. And now a first down following that long gain. Now they'll run it on the toss. And he'll get this down only to about the 46. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
This is what happens sometimes when you abandon the running game. It's hard to get back to it because once guys get out of that mentality of firing out and hitting people, hard to get them started again occasionally.
Now a 2nd down throw for Cousins. And this is incomplete.
The positioning here is key. As a defensive back, you're taught 99% of the time, make a play on the football. But in this case, making a play on the man was all the difference. That's what forced the incompletion.
Throwing, Cousins. It's caught, Jones. And he gets this one all the way down inside the 15, just shy of the 10. That one goes for 36 yards.
There will always be a place for methodically marching the ball downfield. But when you can pick it up in big chunks and strike like that, have explosive plays, that's often the difference in winning and losing. Those types of plays that can knock a defense off balance, that'll drive a team towards a victory.
And able to get him inside the 5 here, just inside the 5 to about the 4. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
That play wasn't quite as big as the play that preceded it, but still, gotta like the way they're moving the football, partner.
Absolutely. Pretty good room to run on that last play.
Yeah.
And he'll get in. Touchdown, Minnesota. Devontae Freeman, his 6th touchdown of the season. And the Vikings are able to make this a close game again.
I know the play ends up in the end zone with one person carrying the ball, but how about that big mass of humanity that guided him to that spot?
Yeah, they got there, but I love the dive. Always a fan of the dive. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And from back there, a wise move. He'll just sit on this one, and it'll come out to the 25. Here comes the Buccaneers offense. They get their first reps of the second half. The first down throw for Winston. Throw right side, taken in by Godwin. And he gets this up just shy of the 30 to the 29 before he's out of bounds. That throw good for 4. It's 2nd down.
If you run an out route, it's likely you're going to end up near the sideline. And what did we just see there? You got it. The benefits of practice. Toe tapping, foot dragging, picking it up, and making sure it was a catch.
They'll wind up losing 3. And now it's 3rd down.
It's real easy to say this running game needs to be better, but the reality is they've been given little time to actually find a place to run the football. It's almost like the defense is there on the handoff.
Winston. And he is out of bounds on the other side of midfield. A good pickup there, 20. Six yards. So after that big play, let's see if they can catch their defense maybe on their heels. First down, here's the run with Cook. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down. Well, a well-executed blitz, no doubt. Great job by the linebacker. Maybe the quarterback, if he could have seen that, could have audibled there.
Yeah, he needed to be in a different play because that one just meshed perfectly for the defense. All the gaps were filled except for the one the offense really wanted to run through, and that was filled by a big man wanting to make a tackle.
And he made a great tackle. Give him 4 on the ground there. They're now left with 3rd and 6.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. Now Winston. He's got the first down here inside the 30. And he's going to get this one down right to the edge of the red zone of the chalk of the 20. A pickup of 24 on the third down conversion. This drive, it's been a good mix. 3 passing plays, 3 runs, hitting on all 3 of those passes, and the last one putting him in the red zone.
So wouldn't you think play action right here? Because you've got the ability and had the ability to run it and throw it. Go play action and take your shot at the end zone.
See if they stay on the ground for second down. They run it again with Cook. No dice this go-around. He's hit behind the line and taken down. So he loses 3 yards there. Now third down.
And this is why the head coach gets paid the big bucks. Look at where they are in this situation, partner. Do you throw the ball here in a long-distance situation? Do you run it again and trust your defense and make sure you take care of the ball and punt it away? What kind of options do you have here, and what do you trust more on your team?
Yeah, they may have just pushed him back into that throwing situation. We'll see. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
Couldn't just sit on it here, could they? Had to throw the ball on third down. Got the big completion in the pickup. Fresh set of downs now. They've got to feel great.
And defensively, a backbreaker. And he's in. Touchdown, Buccaneers. A great effort there with his 2nd touchdown of the game, number 7 on the year. And the Bucs are going to add on to their lead. He's having a nice little game. Maybe already has an eye on that 3rd touchdown.
And how about what our producer, Christian McLeod, likes to say when they've scored touchdowns like this? He's put a tent up in Touchdown City.
It's good to make it 17-7.
Running into the kicker. Defense.
So 5 yards. Running into, lucky it wasn't 15 for roughing.
No doubt about it, because they protect the kickers and the guys holding the ball almost as much as they protect quarterbacks in the pocket. They don't want those types of injuries.
That'll be taken in the end zone. And they'll start in a hole here as he's brought down at the 11-yard line.
Well, conventional football 101, tells us if you don't get it back to the 20-yard line on a kickoff return, that's a disappointment. But some of these team special teams coaches, with approval by the head coach, they give them full authority to go ahead and bring it out and try to be aggressive. Almost what we call the green light, red light theory. Green light means go, red light means stop. Looks like he had green on that play.
And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line.
Oh, partner, that play brought back memories. Watching them string it out, letting the runner get all the way to the sideline area, but not letting him get out of bounds. They formed that picket fence and didn't allow it.
Oh, the Buccaneer pressure too much. Down he goes. Jalen Reeves-Maybin coming in from that outside linebacker spot to bury him for a loss of 7.
I think most quarterbacks would love to have the goal line actually extend up into the air and turn into a wall, and they can put their back against it. And no,
looking for Diggs, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Jamar Taylor, and he'll bring it back to about the 5-yard line. Well, they were obviously backed up, had a little bit of space from the goal line, snapping it from the 3, but still trying to throw it, and...
Yeah, exactly. This is where hindsight is 20/20 comes into play, right? Seems like a good idea to throw the ball there. Maybe you'll surprise them and catch them off guard. Instead, you've created a turnover and put your defense in a bad spot.
And Tampa Bay trots out there now. It's a quick turnaround for them after the turnover, but the way they moved it on their last drive, they're probably eager to get right back at it.
And you know me and you know my tendencies in this situation. What do I want right now?
Be aggressive.
Be aggressive. Take your shot right here.
First down and goal. The offense knocking on the door. Following the interception, Winston. And he's got it. Caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. Well, what a quick turnaround there. They get the football. Next play, boom, touchdown.
I've been in a situation before where a turnover occurs, and if you're over on the bench with your defensive mate and you talk about what to do on your next series, and all of a sudden you hear sudden change, you've got to get out on the field and defend right away. Not everyone is mentally prepared to go.
Is that what is yelled on the sidelines a lot of times?
That, among other things.
Maybe some words we can't share here.
Yeah, we'll just keep this one PG.
FCC violation.
No doubt.
And he knocks it through. Now here's Bryant to kick it away. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll wind up about 4 yards shy of where he would have been if he'd taken a knee, as they'll start at the 21-yard line. Now out comes their leader and the captain of this offense back onto the field. And that interception that ended their previous drive likely also ended any shot they had at victory.
Yeah, long road back from here, no doubt about that one. But let's face it, if you're going to go out there and compete, you want to try and end on a strong note, don't you?
Absolutely. It won't end in a victory like you said, but they can maybe take something positive out of this one. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. Carlos Dunlap in there to sack him for a loss of 6.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
Basically, you're not going to outwork two guys very often.
Double coverage. I thought he was going to go somewhere else with the football. I get it. That's a stud wide receiver. You want to try to get him the football.
Yeah, sometimes you rely on him a bit too much. You forget the other options that are out.
Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Jamar Taylor. And it's a pick 6. He brings it back to the house for a Buccaneer TD. That's the story of the game. They've been suffocating all game long on defense. They were suffocating there again in a big way.
And they've done it not just by out-athleting them, which is often the case, but by being able to adjust to anything they tried to throw at them and beating them to the punch each and every time. This was a defense that was well prepared.
This will be taken in at the 1. Oh, a heck of a move.
Man.
Now the Vikings offense works their way back onto the field. And they gave up the pick 6, and now they'll be looking to right the ship here. Now, as a quarterback, are you a little more cautious this go-around?
You should be.
Now the pressure comes, and he goes down. Just inside the 10, back at the 9. Jason Pierre-Paul in there to drop him for his 5th sack of the year.
Brandon, I think you understand the type of afternoon this offensive line is having. It is a long one for them. Long for you to spend it with me. Long for them trying to block those guys. They've given up a whole lot of sacks, and the speed and quickness of that defensive line is eating them alive. My man's getting a little loose with the football there, right? Interception before, almost had one here. He's got to start taking better care of it.
Yeah, really should have been back-to-back drives with interceptions. He's lucky there. The left side completion to Jones. And down he'll go at the 25. It's a 15-yard pickup, but it'll lead to a 4th down. You cannot write these guys off just yet, not with a quarterback like that under center.
You mean it actually crossed your mind with him running the team that you could actually maybe write this game off?
Not yet.
Not a chance. Not with him. We've seen it too many times.
And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Jason Pierre-Paul. in there to get him, and that's sack number 6 for him on the year. Well, at this stage of the game in the second half, down 3 scores, I guess they felt like they needed to push.
And let's face it, with this deficit, if they give up another score here after they didn't get it, does it really matter?
Right.
It really doesn't. They had to go and try and make something happen if they had any chance of winning this game.
5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down. Time for a break. Back to finish it off on EA Sports after this. So it's Buccaneer football as we welcome you back. And the scoreboard on their side, they're just looking to melt away these final couple of minutes and put this one in the left-hand column. Second down, Winston. And he'll be brought down this time at the 5-yard line. A familiar ring to that one. Winston to Evans for the Buccaneer first.
He decided to run a hitch route. It really helps to have a guy who can turn it loose. And, boy, he rifled one in there on that one. Not much run after catch, but it worked really well.
They'll run with Cook. And he goes backwards on this one, losing yardage to the 7. And now the Vikings are going to stop it here on defense with a timeout. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. Winston here to throw. And give him another 6. It's caught for a touchdown, and the blowout continues. So another score there, and often you talk about the 3 phases of the game. Defense, offense, special teams. It's been a clean sweep in this one, hasn't it?
It certainly has. They've been pretty dominant throughout this game. And privately, the head coach will add a 4th phase. That's the coaching. And he'll tell the ownership that as he tries to negotiate a new contract off of this win.
They are looking strong here in the 4th quarter. That's fielded in the end zone. And now running right through it. And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. Now the Minnesota offense set to take over again. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in the game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward.
And the trend continues here in the 4th like it was in the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. He's had nowhere to run.
And you're probably thinking to yourself, why do they keep feeding him the football? Well, they trust him first and foremost. They do believe that over time he might actually pop one of these runs. But bottom line is he takes care of the ball well for them, so they'll keep handing it to him.
The Pro Bowl wideout Julio Jones is intended receiver. And it's 3rd down.
So many qualities coaches tick off when they talk about, hey, what is it going to take to make an excellent quarterback? Accuracy has to rank near the top of every list.
And down he goes, a Buccaneer sack. Jason Pierre-Paul. He's the one to get him, and that's sack number 7 for him on the year. Offensively, they're going to have to figure this out before next week. 7 sacks in one game.
Yeah. That's more than any quarterback should have to bear. And if this continues on, there will be another quarterback in the game because no one can stand up to this week after week.
All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it. As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off by Jamar Taylor. And they'll start with great field position at the 41-yard line. And that gives him now 3 interceptions in the game.
Well, someone's locked into what they're trying to get done in the passing game. When was the last time we had someone get 3 in a contest?
2011, wasn't it? Kurt Coleman.
Oh, yeah, that's
then
right.
With the Eagles.
That's right. Then with the Eagles, and I believe it was against Washington and Rex Grossman.
That's correct. A road win in the National Football League. Charles, you never take that for granted no matter who you're playing, no matter where you're playing.
You take it and you run with it. And you know you primed the pump all week in your own home facility.
Now let's take a minute to see how you can improve your team. Kick off your week by installing your game plan. Hello, everybody. I'm Larry Ridley. Welcome to Madden 18 on EA Sports. The Lions would love nothing more than to finish out today's game with a second notch in that win column. It's the Vikings going up against the Lions.
All right, Larry, EA Sports coverage of the NFL sends us to the state of Michigan as we are inside Ford Field in downtown Detroit. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Minnesota Vikings and the Detroit Lions. Lurching closer toward the midway point of this NFL season, and we're underway on EA Sports. This is taken about 7 yards deep, and they'll put up the stop sign there as his guys will get it at the 25. So here are the Lions now coming out for their opening drive. They'll be led out by a former Pro Bowl quarterback out of the University of Georgia, Matthew Stafford.
Would you say that last week's performance by him, workmanlike in terms of numbers?
1 touchdown, 1 pick, but obviously a loss.
Yeah, and that's the bottom line for him. All he cares about is how do we find a way to win the game. Maybe he leans on a few other parts of the offense and hopefully springs a receiver or two free.
Now a first down throw. Stafford. The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack. Deion Jones in there to drop him for his 11th sack of the year.
Pressure can come from all over when you're plotting a defensive strategy. On that particular play, it just came from the outside.
They'll run it now out of the gun. Shows off the quick feet as he takes this one up to the 20. It's a gain of 5, but they're still deep in a hole. 15 yards still to go on third down. And the defense searches for one more stop here after the run on second down. Now here's the first carry for Amir Abdullah. Amir Abdullah, 20, 10, touchdown, Detroit. Amir Abdullah, an 80-yard touchdown. And the Lions are going to take a first-quarter lead. And personally, what a start for him to get in the end zone from that distance here on the first drive.
And it has the defense tearing up their defensive goals for the game, doesn't it? Because nowadays, when we talk to all the coaches, they don't talk about limiting yards per carry and those things. They just talk about limiting explosive plays, whether it's through the air or on the ground. And anything an explosive play on the ground, usually, 10, 12-yard runs? This one was way more than that. They've got to go back to the drawing board and try and shut it down.
Oh, what a move. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. So here's the Viking offense making their way out. They'll be led out by the veteran quarterback out of Michigan State. The former Spartan, it's Kirk Cousins.
And it'll be interesting to see pretty early in this one exactly where his head is, because the best quarterbacks shake off performances like he had last week. Way too many interceptions. Didn't throw a touchdown pass. Team lost the game. Let's see if he can bounce back and get things going in the right direction.
They'll be trying to forget those 3 picks, as you noted. They'll try and run for the first time with Freeman. And he will lose yardage on the play, back at his own 19-yard line. That'll be a loss of 4 yards on the play. And it'll bring up a 2nd and 14.
Yeah, and that was a safety that came through and made the play. But there's no doubt in my mind, he hits like a linebacker, and we see a lot of that in today's NFL, don't we?
And that time, and the pressure too much that time as Cousins goes down. Sean Robinson breaking through to get him for a loss of 7. He probably feels like he cannot get a break. He was sacked 7 times last week. And here we go again in the first quarter.
And we always talk about the internal clock of a quarterback in the pocket and how he has to have a real keen sense of it in order to get rid of the football. After being sacked 7 times last week, that clock has been sped up.
That's the number 2 receiver in the NFL in terms of yardage. And tell you what, a few more plays like that, he won't be number 2 for long.
But that's what often happens when you have competitors running around the field. These guys know where they stand in relationship.
Julio Jones all alone. The 20. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Julio Jones. His 14th touchdown now on the year. And the Vikings are an extra point away from tying this thing up. Big 4th down conversion for the score, and the defense, that is a tough pill to swallow.
Big time for them. How about them just deciding to go for it on 4th down? And, okay, forget the field goal, because that looked like an easy 3 points. Yeah, you might have had a defensive breakdown in there, but they pressed the issue and found a way to get it into the end zone. Give them big credit for that.
Here's the Lion offense now as they get ready to take over. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
And he'll get this one up to the 26. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9. Clock rolling as we hit the midway point of this first quarter. Here's Stafford now on 2nd down. He completes it to Jones. And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face 3rd down. Stafford looking to throw on 3rd and 1. He finds Roberts complete. And he's got the first before he's brought down at the 39-yard line. At 5 yards on the play there, as the drive will continue. I think defensively you're okay with that. You're in the first quarter. He's going to get some catches, but they rallied to him quickly.
And that's what you count on, and I like what you just said. First quarter, can you do it all game long? They catch it, you tackle them, they go down on the spot. Because when you're able to do that and you don't give up big chunks of yardage after the catch, now you put the offense in a position where every series they have to work hard to pick up first downs, and you tend to stall them out when you do that.
On 2nd down, here's Stafford. Throwing the out route incomplete. It's Jones. And I think the ball's out. Touchdown, Detroit. A big play there. His 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Lions have taken the lead.
I think the key to that play was them understanding and knowing that once the ball was out, they were still eligible to pick it up and carry it.
Yeah, there was some standing and some staring on the wrong side of the football there, wasn't there?
Yes, he has a name, he has a number, but for us, he's Johnny on the spot. And how about that rambling run all the way to the end zone with that alert play that he just made?
And he'll probably wish he'd reconsidered here. It will cost him 10 yards as he's down at the 15.
Well, conventional football 101, tells us if you don't get it back to the 20-yard line on a kickoff return, that's a disappointment. But some of these teams, special teams coaches, with approval by the head coach, they give them full authority to go ahead and bring it out and try to be aggressive. Almost what we call the green light, red light theory. Green light means go, red light means stop. Looks like he had green on that play.
It's a loss of 5 there, bringing up second.
Came out in a power set, but that only served to put more men in the box. And guess what? If you're going to do that, you've got to win up front, right? Your offensive guys have got to beat the defenders. They lost all leverage on that play.
He's got the connection over the middle to Diggs. And he's brought down after a good gain. Now they'll run it on the toss. And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48. Give him 10 yards on the pickup, and that'll bring up a second in just about a few inches here. Now, look, that wasn't a huge gain, but those are the types of carries I think they were missing in their loss last week. They couldn't get him going on the ground.
Did you get the same feeling I did during our meetings, that they kind of regretted that he didn't touch the ball?
Absolutely.
You know, hey, he should have touched it more last week. They weren't going to make that same mistake, and they've taken care of that early.
And a nice gain at 21 yards.
Well, coaches always talk about finding balance on offense. I don't think you can get much more balance than this. Big-time run, big-time pass.
A 1-2 combination. Looked pretty good.
How about that? Let's see if they can continue to take that kind of a punch, though.
Looks like the defense in press coverage here. Back now with Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gault. So the offense has it 1st and 10. Now they'll run it on the toss. And that play went nowhere. Losing yardage. It'll be back at the 36. Call that a loss of 5 yards on the play. And it'll make this a 2nd and long.
Partner, you mind if I take off this headset and put on a coaching headset?
You want to get this running game going?
I want to get this running game going. I'm going down there and saying, gentlemen, we have got...
And the pressure too much that time as Cousins goes down. Ezekiel Ansah in there to get him, and that's sack number 12 for him on the year. Charles, what a slacker. 5 sacks last week, took him all the way to the 2nd quarter to get one, and here in this one.
And just think about all the planning that went into this game to try and keep him from getting to the quarterback. After 1 quarter, maybe they exhaled and thought, hey, we've got this. Oh, no, you don't. You got to come up with another plan, more looks, maybe even more bodies to keep him out of the backfield.
So on 4th down, here's Marquette King to punt it away. Back deep is the former Seahawk, Golden Tate. And that'll hit in the end zone. Much too much leg there. That'll be a touchback. Now the Lions offense, they get ready to head back out there. Now right now they're saying, hey, let's keep this going. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, can't ask for a better start than that, can you? I mean, this is the way you practice it. This is the way you rehearse it. But right now, the play calling, they're locked in really well.
Hoping now to get back in the end zone on this 4th possession. On 1st and 10, Stafford. Caught on the right side by Jones. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. 11 yards for number 11. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because they'll have all that time to find someone. open downfield. You can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try and get more pressure at the passer.
Here's Blunt. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
To throw on 2nd down is Stafford. And Roberts with it over the middle. And he's taken down, but not before getting this across midfield and just shy of the 40. And a nice gain of 21 yards.
As far as tight ends go, this guy's not a speed burner. He's much more of an inline blocking type of a tight end. But how about this last play? Made a nice catch and picked up the first down.
That's what impresses me about him. When he's called upon, usually gets it done. And he'll get it down on the play to the 37. That throw good for 4. It's 2nd down.
I think it's okay there. They didn't get a whole lot on that play, but it's nice to have a safety valve that's built like this guy. Big target, guy you can spot pretty easily. Put it on him when your other targets aren't open.
That'll be taken in there by Kenny Galladay. Touchdown, Detroit.
Everybody likes to see the long ball thrown, but when you throw it underneath and you see someone catch the ball, secure it, make their moves, and then turn it into bigger plays, that's a lot of fun to watch as well.
It's good, and it is now 21-7. Here's Prater now set to kick it away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he probably should have stayed in the end zone as he'll muster a return up to only the 14-yard line.
Well, conventional football 101, tells us if you don't get it back to the 20-yard line on a kickoff return, that's a disappointment. But some of these teams, special teams coaches, with approval by the head coach, they give them full authority to go ahead and bring it out and try to be aggressive. Almost what we call the green light, red light theory. Green light means go, red light means stop. Looks like he had green on that play.
A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
Well, you had to punt on your first drive, and on the first play of the second drive, you end up going backwards. I would dare say they need something good to happen right here, right now.
2nd down, Cousins. And Diggs has it. And they're going to get this one up to the 35-yard line. That one goes for 24 yards. Now they'll run it on the toss. And Freeman lost the football. And this is scooped up by the Lions. And he's going to be taken down with a marker on the field. So let's see about the call. Of course, they had the option, and they choose. To not take the penalty.
They like the results of the play that they just ran, and they elect to let them stand.
Really nice starting field position here for the offensive unit. Now a play fake here on first down. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Miles Jack in there to get him, and that's sack number 8 for him on the year. 2 minutes to go here in the first half. We'll come back to Ford Field after this. Coming up at halftime, remember, we'll get you out to Larry Ridley in Orlando for highlights and analysis of this first half. That is, of course, unless you decide to skip him.
And for the record, we do not encourage that.
And he doesn't quite make it. They do stop him, but he gets it all the way down to the 1. And that one results in 35 yards.
Coaches really don't care from what position they get this, but run after the catch ability, rack ability, is often the difference between winning and losing and changing field position.
They'll run it here with Blunt. And he'll actually lose a little bit of yardage here. Back to the 2. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
Now that was a terrific play. We're down here near the goal line, and only one word comes to mind for me, and that's overwhelmed. Because they absolutely overwhelmed the offensive line. He came free and made the hit in the backfield.
And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit. Michael Rupp. His first touchdown on the year. And the Lions are able to grow their lead. He knocks it through. It's 28-7. Here's Prater now set to kick it away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And there is a flag as he's brought down right at the 25-yard line. But who's this going to be against?
Personal foul. Face mask. Defense.
So that flag will cost him 15.
And it doesn't matter anymore how you get the face mask. Any part of it is going to be 15 yards.
A first down throw for Cousins. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Jones. And they'll get him to the ground, but he got all the way down to the 30-yard line. He got 29 yards that time. First down. Here's Cousins. That is caught at the 7. And down he goes, taking it inside the 10 to the 7. That one goes for 24 yards. So in the second quarter, he's already up over 100 yards receiving now.
And isn't 100 the magic number for a really good game for a receiver? So he got a chance to really shatter that.
And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. And before this second down play, we'll get a whistle, a signal, and a timeout, as they'll stop it with 25 seconds to go here in half number 1. Cousins now on second down. And he can't corral it. Maybe a big missed opportunity there defensively in the end zone. And now third down.
Those throwing windows get a lot tighter near the end zone, don't they? And here's the thing. You already probably have 3 points in your hip pocket. You force a throw here and give up an interception, you come away with nothing.
Especially tough in the middle third of the field where he threw that one. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
I think that was a good job there defensively. They did allow him to drive all the way downfield, but once they got their backs to the goal line, they really turned up the pressure.
Yeah, they let him get all the way down here. Now the field shrinks. They've struggled to convert, and that last incompletion brings up fourth. So a field goal here. They're still down, but they put a dent into that lead before the break.
And that's got to feel good because now they've seen that they can put some more points on the board, and that gives them a whole second half to get back to where they want to be, and that's in the lead.
And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee, and they'll bring the football out to the 25. They start on the ground here with Blunt. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down.
If this was boxing, you think maybe they would have thought about stopping this one because this defense has been bruised, it's been battered, but this is why they keep the fight going, right? They just got done with a really nice play, showing they still got a little bit left, don't they?
Haven't had many plays that they can clip, put in the film room, and smile about, but hey, there's one.
Clip and save.
This is fielded a couple yards deep. A beautiful, now a hit and a loose football. And I think he was able to get back on it. He was. So they will get the ball after all, but that could have been a disaster.
I didn't do this in college, but I did it in high school. When you return kicks and you lose it yourself, the panic that goes through you and the determination to get the ball back, I don't even know how to describe it. And I think we just saw an example there.
Yeah, and the relief when you get it back like he did.
Yeah, you go to the sidelines, you know you're going to get yelled at, but you can handle it because you got the ball back. But if these guys are going to chop into that deficit, they got to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
Now a second down throw for Cousins. And Jones has it over the middle. And they're going to get this one all the way out across the 45. A really good pickup of 28 yards. And he's over 100 yards now after that last catch. Already, of course, leading the NFL in receiving yardage.
So he's done nothing at all to hurt his confidence.
And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Ziggy Ansah in there to drop him, and his great season continues. 13 sacks for him now on the year. Cousins now. Wide open receiver complete. And he's taken down, but not before he gets this into enemy territory across the 40. 23 yards on the play. Cousins on first down. That ball's caught. Aguilar right side. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field.
Offense.
Well, your QB's been sacked 4 times in the game already, and they're the holding goal.
And you know darn well the offensive line coach is frustrated and upset that he's been hit that many times already. He doesn't really care that they hold now. Just don't let him get hit anymore.
He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete.
Sometimes the coverage is so good, no matter what you're doing on offense, you just can't shake anyone free. They try their best to find someone open, but they took away every passing alley.
And the pressure too much that time as Cousins goes down. Ezekiel Ansah in there to drop him, and his great season continues. 13 sacks for him now on the year. Cousins with work to do after the sack as he brings his guys up on a 3rd and long. And that is incomplete.
We're into the second half now, and this is an offense that continues to struggle to sustain a drive.
Looks like they're just totally out of sync, whether they're running the ball, passing the ball like we saw there. I don't know. The rhythm seems off. On 4th down, they do snap it to Cousins. Oh, a battle for it here, and this will be caught. They got 29 yards there, and it'll be a Minnesota first down. And at this stage, down in the second half, looks like they just wanted to find a way to get it in the hands of their playmaker, and they did.
I think you're exactly right. I don't think the coordinator's looking at his play sheet and trying to figure out which play will work well. He's trying to figure out how to get the ball to the playmaker that you just described. Looking down at that sheet, you find people plays, not necessarily X's and O's, and that's exactly what they did there.
And with that last play, he's now up over that 300-yard mark.
And in today's NFL, it almost feels routine. And I hate that when you talk about it.
Now the hit comes, and Cousins lost the football. And this is scooped up by the Lions. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
When I see a play like that, I come back to risk-reward. I don't know about you, but is it worth it at that point, whatever you're going to pick up, to either take the hit and in this case, lose the football.
So, should have gone down. I mean, hindsight's always 20/20, but that's the safe play.
You're exactly right. Hindsight's really never wrong, is it? Because you can analyze it, but I think ultimately you got to look at it as a first option, taking care of the ball, getting what you can, and that's it. Don't worry about it anymore.
They go play action here on first down. And to the left side here, Wilson. And he'll be out of bounds up near midfield at the 49. 23 yards on the play.
There are so many things to watch for when you play defense. And reading your keys, you always hear about that, and having your eyes in the right place. Sometimes your eyes can fool you. How about that play action there? It sprang the big guy, didn't it?
Able to dump it over the top to him. Takes to midfield, but no further. Just a yard there.
Well, if the coaching staff's doing a good job upstairs, they'll file away what they just saw from the defense right there. They sold out to stop that running play. I'd say keep that in mind. They want to try that again. Go play action, hit him over the top.
Now Blunt. And he's going to be brought down inside the 45 at the 43. And he's able to get most of what he needed on the carry there. 7 yards on the gain, and it's 3rd and 2 now. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him. So when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, makes it a lot easier to stay up.
LeGarrette Blunt past the 20. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit. LeGarrette Blunt, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Lions add on to their lead. Well, they were just hoping that run would pick up the first. They got the whole enchilada.
And I'm so used to teams on 3rd down, doesn't matter how far they need for a first down, throwing the ball. Instead, they run it, and as you said, picked up the first down, and then some, and then some. In fact, everything, all the way for a touchdown. Terrific play.
Prater on to add the extra point. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. Here's Prater now set to kick it away. This is fielded at the goal line. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. Here's Stephon Diggs as he and the rest of the offense get ready to go again. A monster game so far, 3rd quarter. He is lighting up the stat sheet.
And so many times when you see these types of games, you hear about the quarterback, or we talk about the quarterback.
The ball popped in the air and intercepted. It's the 2014 NFL interception leader, Glover Quinn. That had disaster written all over. You've got a right-handed quarterback, a rolling left, and throwing it pretty far downfield.
It's really difficult to do, to try and get your body twisted around into the proper position and get anything on the ball as you heave it downfield. And that's what it actually turns into, a heave. And that's not really a good throw, is it?
Not good. Now. And it's a unit last drive that did it all on the ground, Charles.
And they controlled it from the interior, big on big, right? Offensive lineman versus defensive lineman. But you know, in order to keep the football moving downfield, other people have to get involved as well. Your wide receivers, your tight ends, lead runners, anything that you have possible to get in front and keep the ball moving.
And now the defense may be looking out for a pass coming up. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Give him 11 yards that time and a new set of downs.
So much goes into a successful play, doesn't it? How about that play action there, freezing the defense just enough to bring the tight end free downfield for the completion.
Stafford now to throw. Throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete. He was trying to find Marvin Jones that time, and that'll bring up 2nd down. Well, the numbers have been good in the passing game, and certainly a big reason why they have the lead. But now here, third quarter, maybe go to the run game a little more?
Yeah, perhaps. I mean, after that incompletion, a little credit to the defense for shutting them down on that play. Maybe you try and run the football a little bit more in this spot. But they have to feel good about how they've been throwing it overall.
The Lions on third down. A perfect 3 for 3 as they look to keep that streak going. This is going to be 3rd and 13. Here's Stafford. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Linval Joseph with a big-time sack on third down. And it'll be a loss of 7.
Brandon, what I remember most about playing with guys who knew how to rush the passer, they would just tell you, just cover people for me, just long enough for me to get there. And that's exactly what happened on that play.
And this one hits at the 3 and then bounds into the end zone for a touchback. And now out comes Minnesota. And last time wasn't pretty. One play and an interception. We'll see if they can do better.
I want to see if they want to go ahead and throw the ball again now on this drive after what happened on the last one. Throw it on the first play. Give the quarterback some confidence.
See what happens. And it's knocked away and incomplete.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, fourth quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. Throwing again, Cousins on 2nd and 10. Dancing to his left. Now he'll let it go on the run. Deep lefts. Oh, you saw that one coming. It's intercepted. Thrown back across his body. Picked off by Tavon Wilson. And he will take this all the way down to the 38-yard line.
I'm not sure, Brandon, we've seen a sloppier played game this year for a team on offense. Turn it over 4 times and expect to win? No chance whatsoever. And look, I have no idea what the ratio is about turnover 4 times and how that correlates to winning or losing, but I'll guarantee you, it's not very good.
Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the fourth quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it, and the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're just trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up holes so they can't run the football.
He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down.
So, Brandon, when this offense gathers together to watch tape for this game, they're going to be feeling pretty good about themselves until the coaches get upset about the play we just saw. But you know their defense is going to be. But we put up big points all game long. The defense is going to win one every now and then.
Fighting his way down to about the 35-yard line. Call it a gain of 3, and it'll bring up 4th down.
Some of the most unselfish players on any football team, defensive tackles, because we ask them to just eat up blocks and allow other people to make tackles. But when he can make the play himself, as we just saw there, that's a big day.
And the 11-year veteran bangs it through, and their lead will swell up to 28. So it's 3 more points, and that widens things out even further here in the fourth.
Hey, in this league, you can never have too much. So if you're in range, grab the 3 whenever you can.
And he'll take this up past the 20 and down at the 22-yard line. And now out comes Minnesota. They're sort of seeing themselves spiral out of control. Let's see if they can get things back on track.
And this is where the coach is walking that line of being calm and really being firm with his team. I had one tell me once, when we were having a tough pat.
And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time.